Are you guys feeling sleepy? Are you feeling sleepy? Okay, good. Okay, यार, the ones who are sitting towards the last, आगे आ जाओ. If not an issue. थोड़ा थोड़ा सा please come forward. Okay. So guys, first of all, welcome to the class. Okay. So from now onwards, we are going to start this classes on ethics, integrity and aptitude, GS paper number 4. Okay. I expect that before this, you have taken the workshop where we have discussed some of the basic aspects. For example, what UPSC expects from the aspirants, okay, while they are writing the answers, what UPSC expects. We have taken that. We have taken we have taken an understanding that what the syllabus is all about. We have seen that there are total 8 topics that are there into the entire syllabus. In that, we have the case studies. Okay, so a little bit of primer I had given you on the workshop on every topic. For example, in topic number 1, what we should expect. In topic number 2, topic number 3, what was there. You're getting it or not? Primary sources ki bhi baat already we have done into that workshop. And in case you had not attended that workshop, okay, it is available on the YouTube. You can just check that out. So there are very basic kind of things we have discussed there. Is it clear or not? Now, before starting with this class, any preliminary doubt if you have with respect to the ethics GS paper number 4, not related to the concept, not related to any topic, because obviously we are going to start with that thing. लेकिन उससे पहले अगर किसी भी तरीके का कोई भी डाउट है, you can ask. Yes? Nothing? Yes? Any doubt? Okay, chalo, let's start. Now, first of all, there will be certain rules of this class that I expect that you will follow. रूल्स बहुत ज्यादा कोई टफ रूल्स नहीं है. रूल बस सिंपल से 2 रूल है. रूल नंबर 1, you have any doubt, you have any problem at any point of time, you need to clear that particular doubt at that time. Is it clear or not? कैसा भी डाउट आ रहा है, you don't need to keep anything unresolved in your mind कि that okay, बाद में समझ में आ जाएगा या चलो leave it, इतना भी important नहीं होगा. No doubt needs to be unresolved. Everything you have to ask. Now, while you are asking a doubt, there could be certain probabilities. Probability number 1 is that, or 99% of the cases, that doubt will be cleared at that point of a time. 1% time you have asked certain thing which will be covered just in a few minutes or in the coming class. So I will be asking you that just wait for little bit of time, because this thing is going to come in the class. You're getting it or not? You see, no question, no doubt is silly, but if you feel that my doubt is very silly, what others will think, fine, you can come after the class and can discuss that particular thing. You're getting it or not? Rule number 1. See, one more thing. With respect to the ethics, any problem you have, I will be your direct point of concern. You're getting it or not? कुछ भी चीज के लिए है, because sometimes there are certain issues that आप कांटेक्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, रिसेप्शन पे, एकेडमी पे, कहीं पे कांटेक्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, एंड यू माइट नॉट बी गेटिंग सम इंफॉर्मेशन, एनीथिंग, कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेशन हो सकता है, क्लास के रिगार्डिंग है, कोई असाइनमेंट के रिगार्डिंग है, कोई टेस्ट के रिगार्डिंग है. सो आई विल बी योर डायरेक्ट पॉइंट ऑफ कंसर्न. यू कैन डायरेक्टली रीच मी आउट. इज इट क्लियर और नॉट? फाइन. So first thing, this is my number. you can message me on Telegram or WhatsApp. You're getting it or not? You can directly message me here on Telegram or WhatsApp that sir, this is the issue. ऐसा doubt है, किसी भी तरीके का doubt है related to anything. You don't need to contact anybody. You directly be reaching to me. Is it clear or not? ठीक है? कुछ और बड़ी चीज है? Mail me. At the rate live.in. ठीक है, कोई आंसर दिखाना है, कुछ आंसर लिखा है कि दैट सर चेक करके एक बार फीडबैक दे दीजिए. यू आर नॉट ऑन व्हाट्सएप और टेलीग्राम, यू कैन मेल मी हेयर. यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर? Sometimes there could be a thing that I might not be able to respond immediately. I might be in a class or some engagement is there. ठीक है, तो अगर कभी ऐसा हो जाता है तो दोबारा से पिंग कर दो. ऐसा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है कि दैट ओके सर ने रिप्लाई अगर अभी नहीं किया तो करना नहीं चाहते होंगे. इट 99% टाइम आई विल रिप्लाई इमीडिएटली, आई विल सी. बट अगर कभी ऐसा हो जा रहा है कि दैट ओके बैक टू बैक क्लासेस आर देयर, आई माइट नॉट बी एबल टू सी, पिंग इट अगेन. डोंट हेजिटेट. इज दिस थिंग क्लियर और नॉट? चलो. So first rule was this. Second rule that is there, that I expect that you will be very diligently revising all the things that we are doing in the class. You're getting it or not? ठीक है, जैसे जैसे क्लास चलेगी I will be asking you certain questions in the between. ठीक है, and I expect that you should answer me. Okay, when I am explaining, it is I have to give you accountability that सब कुछ समझ में आना चाहिए. एक बार मैंने आपको समझा दिया, उसके बाद मैं आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूं. It is your responsibility that you should answer to whatever is being asked into the class, because at the end of the day it is for your benefit only. Getting? Chalo. So these are the simple things that are there. Chalo, now let's start with the class. Okay, so in the previous workshop, just एक बार recap कर लेते हैं 3-4 मिनट में. जैसे डेली सोप आते हैं तो उसके अंदर में बताते हैं ना कि पिछले एपिसोड में क्या हुआ था. ठीक है, रसोड़े में कौन था. So that type, let's revise the things that we have done. So we have seen first of all the syllabus. उससे पहले what UPSC expects when you are writing an answer onto the ethics, वो सब हमने discuss किया था. Then we have discussed the syllabus that has been given by the UPSC, and a kind of a little bit of flair was given that in every topic what you are expected to read, what you are expected to know in the ethics and human interface, in attitude, in aptitude, emotional intelligence, contribution of moral thinkers, public civil services values are there, probity in governance, and then we have the case studies. In total 8 topics we had, so we have seen that thing. Then we have seen the breakup analysis, that how the questions are coming from each of the sections. Then we have seen that in section number A, broadly the types of questions, okay, the templates that are there, and on the basis of those templates we have also seen the marks distribution. Is it clear? So this is something that we have seen already in the classes. We talked about the sources and the study materials. Clear? Then we have taken up that the newspapers, the current affairs is going to be a very, very important part of your answers. Is it clear? You need to put a lot of dimensions. You need to put the contemporary examples. You need to put some case studies. Okay, examples of the officers, that how they have lived to integrity, how they are living to their foundational values. You're getting it or not? So uske liye newspapers are going to be very, very important. I had shown you certain examples in the previous class. For example, this was an article that came in the Hindu newspaper. Clear? This article came in the Hindu newspaper where I have told you that this was the case study of the Arunachal Pradesh, where the drug abuse was rampant. Fine. And there ADC, Additional Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Sunny K. Singh, he carried an intervention where he provided the sports kit. He revived the stadium and the sports facility into the district, and the drug abuse rate came drastically down. And now the youth here, they are even participating into the sports competition at the national level, state level, and even they are winning the laurels for their district. You're getting? So how the civil servants act as a change maker. This one example we can learn from this article, and these kind of things can be quoted in your answers when you are writing them. These kind of things give that kind of an extra edge to your answer. Okay? The value of institutional integrity. Clear? Then we have seen that this was the case where the high court had allowed the women to terminate the 28-week pregnancy. Fine. अब ये वाले टाइप की चीजें आपको बताई थी मैंने कि दैट अप्लाइड एथिक्स के अंदर में इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकती है. अप्लाइड एथिक्स, विद इन अप्लाइड एथिक्स देयर आर द बायोमेडिकल एथिक्स. अभी ये चीजें बहुत सेंस नहीं बना रही होंगी कि दैट्स अप्लाइड एथिक्स क्या होता है. आई हैव नेवर हर्ड अबाउट दिस वर्ड. ये हो सकता है एंड 90% दिस विल बी द केस दैट व्हाट अप्लाइड एथिक्स. Fine, it will not make sense right now, but they will start to make sense when we'll be doing our concepts. You're getting? So, many articles are coming where you can find an ethical dimension. आपको सारी डिटेल्स नहीं लिखनी है. फाइन. पुरुषोत्तम, एसी चल रहा है. You don't need to write all the details. You just need to extract the ethical dimensions out of the articles that will be coming. Clear? जैसे लास्ट क्लास डिड वी डिस्कस दिस आर्टिकल? सो ब्रीफली बता देता हूं. 3-4 आर्टिकल्स आई विल बी टेलिंग कि दैट क्या क्या एथिकल डायमेंशन निकल रहा है, सो दैट यू गेट टू नो कि दैट हमको क्या चीजों के ऊपर में फोकस करना चाहिए. मोर ओवर व्हेन द एज अवर क्लासेस विल बी गोइंग ऑन डे टू डे बेसिस, देयर विल बी मेनी न्यू डेवलपमेंट्स दैट विल आल्सो बी कमिंग. मे बी कल कोई और डेवलपमेंट आ जाएगी, आफ्टर 10 days some other development will come. So all those developments will be given to you in the class as a handout. Is it clear or not? Now the purpose of giving you those developments as in a handout, purpose is twofold. Number one, you directly get the content. Number two, you should learn that okay, how to extract. Okay, I expect that all of you are reading the newspapers every day. Can I expect that from you, that you are reading the papers? Can I expect? Chalo, I expect that you are reading the newspaper every day, and because you are reading, तो जब मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा तो आप भी देखोगे that okay sir, this was there, whether I caught this thing or whether I missed that thing. So over the period of time when we'll do this exercise repeatedly, you will also learn that skill. You're getting? Starting में नहीं होता किसी को भी, किसी को नहीं पता चलता है, आप मिस कर देते हो, फिर बाद में लगता है अरे इसमें भी कुछ निकल सकता था क्या. So वो होगा. Now what the issue was here, in this case the issue was this. See, COVID-19 booster shots make mockery of equity. ठीक है. अभी issue ये आ रहा है कि that almost all the countries and the developed countries already had done this thing, that they are giving the third booster shot to their people. हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है? Third booster shot is being given against the COVID-19. But at the same time, the WHO says that very less proportion of people have been vaccinated in the sub-Saharan Africa, in Latin American countries. You're getting it or not? What has the keyword that is coming out of this thing? Vaccine inequity. Vaccine inequity. अभी vaccine inequity की थोड़ी सी बात कर देते हैं. Vaccine inequity means that rich countries, they have vaccinated their people. Poor countries, their people are not vaccinated and still they are in the danger that they might get infected. You're getting it or not? So this is a kind of a new type of inequity. Economic inequality was there, social inequality was there. था या नहीं था? Economic inequality exist करता था सोसाइटी में, social inequality exist करता था सोसाइटी में. अब एक और नया टाइप का inequality आ गया है. क्या आ गया? Vaccine inequality और vaccine inequity. You're getting it or not? ठीक है. Now I'll tell you one real life I'll give you one real life reference अगर ऐसा कुछ आ जाता है तो. ठीक है. Though we will be doing all these things throughout the course. There was a person named as Jonas Salk. कभी किसी ने नाम सुना है Jonas Salk? Anybody heard this name? Jonas Salk? Jonas Salk was the one who invented the vaccine for the polio. Jonas Salk was the one who invented the vaccine for the polio. Now what the issue is, now polio, you all know this thing that it was a deadly disease. Polio was a deadly disease. Jonas Salk, when invented the vaccine for polio, it was asked from him that, sir, while will you be patenting this particular vaccine for polio? Okay, because obviously it was a great invention. He should have, according to the economic viewpoint, he should have patented that thing and should have earned a lot of money. Yes or no? Yes or no? What reply was given by the Jonas Salk? Jonas Salk said that, can I patent the sun? Can I patent the water? Can I patent the oxygen? No, I cannot patent the oxygen. Why? Because he said that the sun, the water, the oxygen, these are the common goods. उन्होंने क्या बोला कि that these are the common goods. What is the meaning of common goods? He said that these goods should be given, or these goods are entitled to everyone, irrespective of their nationality, irrespective of their caste, irrespective of their economic status, irrespective of their color. ठीक है? When you are breathing, क्या ऑक्सीजन ब्रीथ करने से पहले आपसे ऑक्सीजन पूछती है कि दैट ओके आपका कास्ट बताओ? You're getting it or not? ऐसा नहीं होता है ना? So Jonas Salk said that there are certain goods which we called as the common goods. Is it clear? These goods need to be given to everybody just because of the fact that they are the humans. He said that the vaccines, Jonas Salk said that even the vaccine are like the common goods. Vaccines are like the common goods. They should be provided to each and everyone, irrespective of their paying capacity, irrespective of their economic status, irrespective of their nationality. Vaccine should be given to an Indian, to a Pakistani, to a Bangladeshi, to an American. You don't need to see that okay whether it is a national of a rich country or a poor country. You're getting it or not? कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? Now let's come to this particular case. यहां क्या हो रहा है? यहां हो रहा है कि that rich countries are vaccinating their own people. Are you getting it or not? Vaccine nationalism. Have you heard this particular word? Vaccine nationalism. Rich countries are procuring the lots of vaccine to vaccinate their own people. And this thing, it is making the mockery of vaccine equality. So we need to bring the vaccine equality. We need to get inspired by the idea given by the Jonas Salk. We need to get inspired by the idea given by the Jonas Salk. Vaccine equity is needed. You're getting it or not? Yes? Just एक बार थोड़ा सा देर रुको. I'll be coming on that point. ठीक है? अभी एक बार just थोड़ा सा इस वाली चीज को एक बार डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. See, now what I am talking about is that वैक्सीन नेशनलिज्म का स्ट्रेटेजिक डायमेंशन आ जाता है, इकोनॉमिक डायमेंशन आ जाता है. ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर देयर, विल बी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर योर GS2, GS3. बट इन GS4, ethics isn't a kind of an ethical dimension coming out of there. Isn't a kind of an ethical dimension coming? क्या हो रहा है? People are being discriminated just because they are from poor country. Is it unethical? Yes. So ethical dimension आ गया नहीं? आ गया या नहीं आ गया? अब ये वाला, इसके अंदर में एक बहुत बड़ा एथिकल डायमेंशन है. दिस एथिकल डायमेंशन विल बी यूटिलाइज्ड वेयर? कहां पे यूटिलाइज करोगे इसको? एक बात याद रखो, स्ट्रॉन्गर योर फाउंडेशन विल बी. जितना स्ट्रॉन्ग आपका फाउंडेशन होगा उतना स्ट्रॉन्गर योर कमांड विल बी ऑन द एथिक्स पेपर. हमेशा सिलेबस याद रखना. रीड द सिलेबस, टॉपिक नंबर 6, ethical issues in international relations and funding. Do we have this topic into this? Do we have this particular subtopic into the topic number 6 of the syllabus given by UPSC? So जब हम ethical issues in international relations and funding की बात कर रहे हैं, so countries, when the vaccines matter is coming, is there unethicality which can be witnessed? Is there an unethicality that can be witnessed? Yes. कैसे अनएथिकलिटी आ रही है? पुअर कंट्रीज आर बीइंग ट्रीटेड डिफरेंटली. दे आर नॉट बीइंग गिवन द कंप्लीट सपोर्ट इन द पेंडेमिक. यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? ठीक है. सी, आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट 100% चीजें समझ में आ जाए अभी, मतलब बिकॉज वी हैव टू रीड द कंसेप्ट्स, बट दिस इज सीमेंटिंग योर फाउंडेशंस. You're getting it or not? These are certain things which we have to procure from the current affairs, because these are the things which are going to make your answer different from the entire crowd that is there. Is it clear or not? So just tell me very honestly, जो भी मैंने यहां पे बताया, 10% of this is clear or not? Whatever I have explained here, is 10% of all that clear? अगर 10% भी समझ में आ गया, excellent. Because as we'll be moving, the respective topics will be coming, we'll again be picking up these particular dimensions. Clear? तो जैसे ये जॉनस सल्क का हमने एक इंसिडेंट पढ़ा, are you getting it or not? There was an incident from the life of Alfred Nobel. Okay, Alfred Nobel, his heart got changed after a particular incident. Are you getting it or not? So many of these incidents, anecdotes, we are going to read throughout our paper, so that they could be used in the answers. अब पूरा कहानी का व्याख्यान नहीं करना है कि that once upon a time ये हुआ. हमको बस क्या करना है? We have to put them as a snippets in our answer in 1 or 2 line. You're getting it or not? ठीक है, फाइन. अब ये एक आर्टिकल था, बहुत डिटेल में अब नहीं जाएंगे, थोड़ा सा I'll give you the hint. Now this was one article. I think it might not be visible because of something coming here. I'll read the title of the article: Empathy through Education. Empathy through Education. Now this particular article here, social and emotional learning, SEL, social and emotional learning. Do you know we got the new education policy 2020? We got the new education policy 2020. How new education policy 2020 can promote the social and emotional learning in the students? Social and emotional learning in the students. This thing was given very beautifully in this particular article. Social and emotional learning. Social learning. How to interact in the society. How to interact with the people belonging to the different backgrounds. You're getting it or not? In a class, let's say in this class, I can find that the students are belonging to the distinct geographies, belonging to the distinct economic backgrounds, belonging to the distinct racial profiles. है या नहीं है इस क्लास के अंदर में? Clear? So how the education will promote the social education, social learning, emotional learning. Fine. This was something that was given in this article. This was something that was given in this article. Now this article, very beautiful points. कहां पे आप डायरेक्टली यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो? I'll show you. Topic number 1. ठीक है, टॉपिक नंबर, okay, all of you got the handout? All of you got the handout? All of you got the handout? हैंडआउट में सिलेबस सबके पास में है ना? अब सिलेबस में टॉपिक नंबर 1 पे अगर हम लोग आते हैं, ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, रोल ऑफ फैमिली, सोसाइटी एंड एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस इन इनकलकेटिंग वैल्यू. कैन यू रीड दिस? रोल ऑफ फैमिली, सोसाइटी हो गया, एंड एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन इन इनकलकेटिंग वैल्यू. इज दिस थिंग गिवन इन द सिलेबस? सो schools, through the tools such as their teaching, their pedagogy, even the new education policy 2020 will teach social and emotional learning. Emotional intelligence is a virtue or not? Social intelligence is a virtue or not? Should you have emotional intelligence? Should you have social intelligence? Are you getting it or not? So, role of educational institution in inculcating value. So how social and emotional learning will be promoted by the schools? This is the thing that is given here. Are you getting it or not? Very beautiful points are given in this particular article. Clear? तो मैं बोलना क्या चाह रहा हूं? I am trying to say this thing that don't write just disconnected points. Pick up some very good ready-made material that is coming in the newspapers and add in your notes. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है. एंड एज द क्लासेस विल बी गोइंग ऑन, हम लोग पूरे थ्रू आउट द ड्यूरेशन विल बी डूइंग दैट थिंग. इवन व्हेन द क्लास विल ओवर, आफ्टर दैट आल्सो यू विल बी गिवन द अपडेट्स. डोंट वरी ऑन दैट मैटर कि दैट सर क्लास खत्म हो जाएगी तो क्या होगा. यू विल बी गिवन व्हाटएवर द अपडेट्स विल बी कमिंग. सो after the regular intervals, I'll try to give you a kind of a PDF that okay, once in a month or let's say once in 20 days or something like that arrangement will do. Okay, चलो एक दो और एग्जांपल देखते हैं, उसके बाद में let's start. Fine. Is the purpose getting fulfilled? Are you able to understand that okay, how ethical dimensions are to be extracted from the newspapers? Is it clear or not? चलो अभी ये आर्टिकल अगर आप इसको पढ़ोगे पेपर में, you'll just might be skipping it that okay, ठीक है, कुछ एक डेवलपमेंट हुई है where something has happened, but I'll show you the ethical dimension that is coming here. So what the issue was like this, that actually there was a couple, okay, a husband and a wife, they had a child suffering from thalassemia. Because the child was suffering from thalassemia, after few days the blood transfusion was to be done. After regular intervals, the blood transfusion was to be done. Because of that, the quality of life of that child was miserable. Okay. Now they wanted only option for treating this particular child was the bone marrow transplant. But the husband and the wife, that is the father and the mother, they were not the suitable donors for that thing. They cannot give the bone marrow. Okay, and they did not find other donor also. What they decided to conceive another child. They conceived another child and a girl was born. Now that particular girl became the donor of the bone marrow for the ailing brother who was suffering from thalassemia. Is it clear or not? ये एक development है. Clear? Now if we read it on a preliminary sense, ठीक है, एक development हुआ, but no, there are ethical dimensions that can be extracted out of that. What ethical dimension? One, is it ethical that you are raising a child so that the child can be the donor for the bone marrow? Are you getting it or not? Ethics में एक principle होता है. What is the principle? In ethics we have a principle, बाद में इसको पढ़ेंगे अच्छे से, अभी बता देता हूं बस. Humans should always be treated as a end. Humans should be treated as an end and not a means. Again I'll repeat, humans should always be treated as an end in themselves and not as the means. Okay. In this case, if you see, an ethical argument can be made that in this case what has happened, this girl or the child that was conceived, she has just been conceived for a particular purpose, that she be the donor for the bone marrow. It could be seen that she has treated as a means for something else. You're getting it or not? She has been treated as a vehicle. She had been treated as a means to save the life of the brother who was suffering from the thalassemia. So ऐसे लोग क्या बोलेंगे? They will say that this is unethical. You will say that okay, this could be a medical ingenuity, और आप कुछ भी मतलब आप इसको बोल सकते हो that okay, अच्छा खराब कुछ भी है अलग बात है, लेकिन ethical angle के ऊपर में they can say that this is unethical thing. On another hand, there is another argument. They'll say that just see the consequences at the end of the day that came. They say that okay, at the end of the day देखो क्या हो गया. Even the girl who donated the bone marrow, she is fine. She is now fine. She is now healthy. Even the boy who was suffering from the deadly disease, even he is now healthy and fit. His quality of life has improved. At the end of the day, both kids or both the children, they are fit, they are healthy. There is not at all a problem. What has happened? Are you getting it or not? Clear? So this is one ethical issue that comes here. Fine. As we'll be going in the classes, we'll read the deontology versus teleology debate. Okay, the deontology versus consequentialism debate we are going to see. The deontology versus consequentialism debate. In that, this example suits, it is 100% perfect example in that particular kind of debate. ठीक है, दिखाओ. Even the direct question, दो बार direct question has been asked into the UPSC mains examination on to the end versus means debate. what is more superior, the end is more superior or the matlab end, basically what is more superior, whether you should be focusing more on the end result or should you be focusing on the way as how an action or how a thing is being done. So हमको यहां पे एग्जांपल्स देने पड़ेंगे, clear or not? So this is something that the will be extracting the current affairs. ठीक है, कुछ कुछ एग्जांपल्स भी आएंगे आपके न्यूज़पेपर्स में रेगुलरली. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल द पद्मश्री वाज गिवन टू द राही बाई सोमा पोपरे फॉर कन्वर्जिंग फॉर प्रिजर्विंग द लैंड रेसेस, दैट इज द वाइल्ड वेराइटीज ऑफ सर्टेन क्रॉप्स. सो एनवायरमेंटल एथिक्स के अंदर में एग्जांपल यूज कर सकते हैं. ऑनर फॉर भोपाल ग्रिटी क्रूसेडर लेट अब्दुल जब्बार वाज गिवन द पद्मश्री बिकॉज he established this Bhopal gas पीड़ित महिला उद्योग संगठन, okay, to help the widows of the people who died into this Bhopal gas tragedy. Are you getting it or not? So these are certain examples that how the people are making a difference. तो ये भी हमको extract करना पड़ेगा. Clear or not? Fine. Are you getting little bit, जितना भी यहाँ पे बताया, are you getting little bit 5-10% कुछ समझ में आया अभी तक? 5-10% कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? Excellent. अगर 5-10% भी समझ में आ रहा है तो excellent, because we have not even started the ethics up till now. It is just a kind of a preconditioning. It is a preconditioning. Fine. चलो, now let's start. So right away, starting the topic number 1. We are starting the topic number 1, that is the ethics and human interface. Ethics and human interface. So starting from the topic number 1, ethics and human interface. You're getting it or not? One more thing, as this is the first class, you will be given the handouts, okay, and you will be given a booklet also. You will be given a booklet, or in a handout form you will be getting the notes in every class. ठीक है? There, handwritten and printed, both versions are there. Most of the things basically क्या है कि that आप scribble करते रहो, चीजों को लिखते रहो, ठीक है, बट बहुत ज्यादा ऐसा नहीं है कि दैट ओके हर कुछ चीज आपको लिखनी है. यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? मेरा बोलने का मतलब क्या है? मेरा बोलने का मतलब ये है कि दैट डोंट बॉदर अबाउट द नोट्स, बी यू नीड टू बी मोर केयरफुल अबाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कंसेप्ट्स इन द क्लास. ठीक है, बट हाँ, बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स मैं आपको दूंगा, बहुत सारे कोटेशंस मैं आप लोगों को दूंगा, बीच में बहुत सारे रेफरेंसेस आपको दूंगा, उनको लिखते रहना. इज इट क्लियर और नॉट? फाइन. So the class is not going to be a kind of a model where हाँ ठीक है I'll be giving a lot of dictations और लिखना है, though that will be the part of the class, but more you need to focus is on understanding and the notes will be given to you. ठीक है, चलो. So topic number 1, ethics and human interface, and the most fundamental question by which we will be starting is that what is ethics? What is ethics? Ethics का पेपर स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं तो सबसे पहले इसी से स्टार्ट करते हैं कि दैट व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय एथिक्स? व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय एथिक्स? सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द वर्ड एथिक्स, एथिक्स comes from the Greek word ethikos. Ethics comes from the Greek word ethikos, which means something related to your conduct, something related to your behavior. Ethics comes from the Greek word ethikos, which means something related to your conduct, related to your behavior. In a way, when we talk what ethics is, ethics, a plain definition can be given about the ethics. The most simple and the holistic definition of ethics क्या हो सकता है? Ethics is the study of human behavior. Ethics is the study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, acceptable and unacceptable, desirable and undesirable, good and bad. The study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, desirable and undesirable, acceptable and unacceptable. You're getting it or not? एथिक्स की बात करते हैं तो एसेंशियली लॉ नहीं आएगा, दो लॉ विल कम, उसकी बात बाद में करेंगे, अभी उसके ऊपर साइड में रख देते हैं. एथिक्स इज स्टडी ऑफ ह्यूमन बिहेवियर. ठीक है, आई विल टेल यू वन रियल लाइफ स्टोरी इन दिस पर्टिकुलर रिगार्ड. ठीक है, रियल लाइफ की स्टोरी आपको बताता हूं. केस ऑफ 1884, रेजिना डडली एंड स्टीफन केस 1884. ध्यान से सुनना, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है. स्टोरी गोज लाइक दिस, दैट देयर वाज अ शिप which started its journey from England to Sydney, Australia. ठीक है, एक शिप अपनी जर्नी स्टार्ट करता है. नाउ ऑन दिस शिप देयर वर द 4 पीपल. ठीक है, एक छोटा सा यॉट था, छोटा शिप था, 4 पीपल वर देयर. As they were doing their journey, what happened? Midway there was a storm that came and their ship was destroyed. These people, they lowered down that lifeboat and now they were surviving on that lifeboat. Lifeboat was not very much sturdy. On the lifeboat they did not had much of the food, very limited food they had, and they did not had water. You're getting it or not? Now they are in the middle of the ocean. Nearest island was 700 miles away. Okay, they cannot go on to that particular boat. They did not had food, they did not had water. Now they are just waiting that somebody will come and somebody will save them. Clear? 4 लोग हैं यहाँ पे. अभी क्या होता है कि that for few days they survived on the food whatever they had. Okay, food के ऊपर में survive करा, चल रहा था, but they did not had the water and they cannot drink the sea water, because if they drink the sea water they will become ill, they will go in the coma, they'll eventually going to die. They did not had the water. Even they were not able to collect the water from the rains that were coming. Okay, now the condition was very much dire. That अब क्या किया जाए? How to survive in this particular case? Eventually what happened? There was a cabin boy. I told you there were 4 people. There was a cabin boy by the name of Parker. That cabin boy, by mistake, he drank the sea water. उसने गलती से क्या कर लिया? समुद्र का पानी पी लिया. Now he became very much ill. He became very much ill. अब जब ये सब चीजें चल रही थी, there was a suggestion that was given by the captain that we cannot all, मतलब हम सब लोग तो सर्वाइव नहीं कर सकते हैं. Let's draw the card and let's decide that कौन मरेगा. One person will be killed and we will feed that particular person's flesh, will drink that particular person's blood. Okay, and then only we can survive. One person has to die so that the other 3 can be saved. Clear? But वहां पे कोई consensus बना नहीं. Now this particular boy, this cabin boy, what he did, he drank the sea water. He became severely ill. They did not had medical supplies. And now it was very much clear that this boy is going to die. This boy is going to die. But if this boy died naturally, then we cannot drink the blood of this boy because it will then get contaminated. But if we kill this boy, we can drink the blood of that boy and we can eat the flesh of this particular boy. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? And what happened eventually? That particular boy was killed and they actually ate the flesh of that boy and they survived. ठीक है? After few days the help came, they reached back their homes, and then their conduct, whatever they have done there, it became a matter of ethical as well as legal scrutiny. You're getting it or not? अब legal scrutiny हम लोग नहीं जाएंगे, ethical scrutiny we are going to do. So what has happened? A kind of a conduct has been done here. These people, they had killed a boy, but they killed that boy out of a necessity. They had killed that particular boy out of a necessity. Are you getting it or not? Whether this particular thing could be acceptable on any parameter? Whether this thing could be acceptable on any parameter? No. It is nothing but a cannibalism that they have done. Yes or no? It is nothing but a cannibalism that they have done. If this becomes acceptable, then in other cases also killing another human being for your needs will become acceptable. We will reach to the jungle Raj. Yes or not? You're getting it or not? ठीक है? So what ethics is? Again उसी फर्स्ट वाले स्टेटमेंट के ऊपर में आइए. Ethics is the study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong. You're getting it or not? So when we will see that what they have done, okay, survival सब छोड़ दो, lawful था या नहीं था छोड़ दो, ठीक है. एक्चुअली इस टाइम तक there was a kind of a convention or there was the law of the seas, और law of the seas में ये था कि that अगर necessity आएगा तो किसी दूसरे आदमी को भी आप मार सकते हो. क्लियर? नेसेसिटी आएगा तो आप दूसरे आदमी को मार सकते हो. और ये वाला डिफेंस, दिस वाज गिवन एज अ डिफेंस इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस आल्सो, दैट इट वाज द केस ऑफ नेसेसिटी. फाइन, एंड वी किल्ड. लॉ की बात अलग है, बट कैन इट बी एथिकल ऑन एनी पैरामीटर दैट यू किल्ड अनदर पर्सन फॉर योर ओन सर्वाइवल? नो. सो इन एथिक्स वी डू नथिंग बट वन थिंग. वी विल एनालाइज द कंडक्ट and we will see that whether this conduct is acceptable or unacceptable. Again I'll repeat, ethics is a study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, acceptable and unacceptable. समझ में आ गया what ethics is? Are you able to समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Are you able to understand? This is ethics. Now when we talk about ethics, study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, acceptable and unacceptable. Now there could be the other ways also to explain the ethics. Ethics का बस एक यही dimension नहीं है. There could be other perspectives by which the ethics could be seen, and more the perspectives you will understand, more your command on the ethics is going to be there. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? बस एक यही definition नहीं रटना है, और भी अलग अलग perspectives हैं to see the ethics. Ethics pertains to as what? Ethics pertains to as what ought to be. What ought to be. अब ये what ought to be का मतलब क्या है? Ethics provides that what should be ideal behavior, what should be ideal conduct. Ethics practicality की बात नहीं करता है कि practical क्या है और practical क्या नहीं है. एथिक्स बात करता है कि दैट आइडियली क्या होना चाहिए. सो एथिक्स डील्स व्हाट ऑट टू बी. ठीक है, प्लीज रिपीट इट अगेन. व्हाट एथिक्स डील्स विद? एथिक्स डील्स विद व्हाट ऑट टू बी. मींस व्हाट ought to be. Ought to be means that what should be ideal. What should be ideal behavior? What should be ideal conduct? Are you getting it or not? We can also see ethics through a different angle. अब ये सब ethics को अलग अलग तरीके से हम लोग एनालाइज करेंगे. You're getting it or not? For example, this is one object I am having. I can see it from this angle. I can see this from this angle. I can see this from this angle. अलग अलग एंगल से मैं इस चीज को देख सकता हूं ना. ऐसे एथिक्स को अलग अलग एंगल से हम लोग देख सकते हैं. एंगल नंबर 1, ethics, basically ethics is a study of human behavior with respect to the right and wrong. Secondly, ethics provides as what ought to be, what should be ideal behavior, ideal conduct. Third, ethics has been explained beautifully in the Mahabharata. Ethics has been explained beautifully in the Mahabharata. How Mahabharata defines ethics? Mahabharata says, Atmana pratikulani paresha na samacharet. ठीक है? This is given in your handout, na? Atmana pratikulani paresha na samacharet. I will give you the English translation also, don't worry. That sir क्या बोल दिया? What it means? Atmana pratikulani. What you feel is adverse to you. Atmana pratikulani. What you feel is adverse for you, what you feel is bad for you, what you feel is dangerous for you, you should not do the same thing to others. What you feel is bad for you, don't do that to others also. So, Atmana Pratikulani Pareshana Samacharet. English translation, please write if you want. If you want, you can write the English translation. Do not do do not do do not do unto others, do not do not do unto others as you would as you would as you would not be done by, as you would not be done by. Again, I'll repeat, do not do unto others as you would not be done by. This is the literal translation of this. Are you getting it or not? In simple terms, the principle is very clear. You should not do the thing which is bad for you to others also. लेकिन literal translation ये बनेगा. Are we able to understand? The exact same thing is being given in Bible also. The same thing is given in Bible as well. Clear? So, what ethics is? Study of human behavior. Ethics provides what ought to be, what should be ideal. Ethics can also be seen as how Mahabharata and Bible defines ethics. Mahabharata and Bible defines ethics as you should not do the conduct which you feel bad is bad for you to the others people, to the others. What you feel is bad for you, that thing should not be done to others. Okay? Then another perspectives in which the ethics can be seen. Fourth, very important rule, very important rule. Ethics will basically, when we talk about the ethics always applies to conscious human behavior. Ethics always applies to conscious human behavior. Is it clear or not? See, suppose, okay, you are living here, let's say in a PG, ठीक है? तो now as summers are approaching, आपने आपका मन करा कि चलो आज मैंगो खाते हैं, ठीक है? आप जाके मार्केट से मैंगोज लेके आए और अपने फ्रिज में रख दिया कि दैट ओके आई विल ईट इट, जब ये ठंडे हो जाएंगे तो उसके बाद में आई एम गोइंग टू ईट देम. उसके बाद में यू वेंट टू योर कोचिंग एंड थ्रू आउट द कोचिंग क्लास में कुछ नहीं देख रहे हो, बस याद आ रहे हैं जो आम फ्रिज के अंदर में रखे हैं, बस घर जाके खाना है उनको. यू आर जस्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट इट, यू आर गोइंग एट योर होम एंड यू आर वेरी हैप्पी दैट ओके आई एम गोइंग टू ईट दोज मैंगोज. ठीक है? यू गो टू योर किचन and you find that okay that refrigerator is open and all the things they are just in a basically सब कुछ नीचे गिरा हुआ है, और आपको समझ में आता है कि that one monkey came, that monkey opened that refrigerator and took away your mangoes. आपके मैंगोज कौन लेके चला गया? एक मंकी लेके चला गया. Will you say that this monkey is unethical? Will you say that this monkey is unethical? No. Why? Because that monkey is working on his reflexes. He has not make an active choice. Are you getting it or not? Decision, okay, or an active choice can be made by a human being only. An active choice का मतलब क्या होता है? सोचना कि ये काम करूं या ना करूं, ये होता है active choice. Animals cannot make an active choice. They just need to survive. And for survival, they'll do anything. Ethics का क्वेश्चन तब आता है when there is the conscious human behavior involved. When there is a conscious human behavior involved. Ethics will not pertain to animals. Ethics will not pertain to animals. Ethics will not pertain to the people who have some mental limitations because they are not making an active human choice. You're getting it or not? So ethics will apply to the conscious human बिहेवियर। समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? समझ में आ रहा है? क्रिस्टल क्लियर, यस और नो? हाँ जी, हाँ जी सर, समझ में आ रहा है? पक्का समझ में आ रहा है? क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा तो बता दोगे? पक्का? चलो गुड। देन नेक्स्ट, सी, ethics. Ethics teaches you how to live a good life. Ethics teaches you as how to live a good life. Now, what is a good life? What is a good life? Good life क्या होती है बताइए? What is a good life? What is a good life? बड़ा सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, क्या होता है गुड लाइफ? हाँ जी सर, what is good life? Life, okay, very good, very good. What's your name? Abhishek. Okay, very good explanation. Yes, somebody wants to try that, sir. मेरे हिसाब से तो this is good life. What is good life? Yes, all our needs are fulfilled. चलो ठीक है, ठीक है, नीड्स फुलफिल हो जाएगी तो हो जाएगा क्या गुड लाइफ? अभी चलो 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 एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं। अभी योर नीड्स ऑफ फूड, शेल्टर, क्लोथिंग, एंटरटेनमेंट, ये सब चीजें पूरी हो रही है। इज इट, विल यू से दैट यस सर आई एम लिविंग अ गुड लाइफ? बोल सकते हो या नहीं बोल सकते हो? यस मैम बताइए। जो आपने बोला है वो सही है, ठीक है, बट फ्रॉम योर वट एवर यू आर सेइंग, उसी के अंदर में से एक आंसर निकालने की कोशिश करते हैं ना। थोड़ा सा इसको इंप्रूव कीजिए, क्या हो सकता है? चलो ओके, व्हाट इज अ गुड लाइफ? अ गुड लाइफ इज वन वेयर यू आर कंटेंटेड। अ गुड लाइफ इज वन वेयर यू आर कंटेंटेड। अब वो कंटेंटमेंट जहां पे आ जाएगा, दैट इज अ गुड लाइफ। आर यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? व्हाई मोस्ट ऑफ द ह्यूमंस आर नॉट लिविंग अ गुड लाइफ? बिकॉज दे आर नॉट कंटेंटेड। ये मिल गया तो अब वो चाहिए, या किसी चीज का गिल्ट है। यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? नाउ एथिक्स teaches you how to live a good life. When you will do ethical behavior, when you do, देखो, in a way, if you are living a life of virtues, if you are living a life of morality, if you are living a life of ethicality, at the end of the day you achieve a satisfaction that yes, I have done something good. एक example देता हूँ, एक example देता हूँ. Suppose this, let's say you have cleared this exam, you cleared this exam, situation A, you became an IAS officer, you never compromised on your integrity, you never compromised on your morality. Are you getting it or not? Whatever salary you are getting, you are making, you are living your life into that particular thing only. Even a single rupee bribe you have not done. Whatever was your duty, you had always done your duty. You never shied when your duty was concerned. When you are getting retired, imagine the feeling that is there. Second case, you became a corrupt officer. Clear? You are stealing the money of the poor people, never doing your duty. Deep down आपको आपके दिल के अंदर में पता होता है कि दैट आपने आपकी ड्यूटीज पे कितना जिया है और कितना नहीं जिया है. Now you are getting retired. You have a lot of money stashed in your banks, but you never made a change in the quality of life of even a single person. Which case you will be more contented? Case 1 or case 2? Which case you will be more contented? Case number 1. So देखो, जब क्या होता है ना, when we are living by virtues, when we are living by ethics, morals, when we are doing our duties, when we are doing what is right, दो चीज होती है, एक होता है right और एक होता है convenient. One is right and what is convenient. When you are not bothered about convenient but you are doing the right thing always, even it will give you pain, even it might not give you a lot of wealth, but you will feel a kind of a satisfaction. Will that be the case or not? So ethics teaches you, or ethics actually teaches you how to achieve a good life. Good life is that life where you have done your duties and have lived as per your ethical and moral standards. समझ में आ रहा है? Then next, ethics is also the realization of your rights and duties. Ethics is also the realization of your rights, your duties, your responsibilities. Ethics is the realization of the duties, the responsibility, the rights. Listen, basically, what is the problem? Problem is this, that when your rights are concerned, you confuse your rights with a type of a license. हम अपने rights को क्या समझते हैं? A type of a license that has been given to us, that we can do whatever we want in the name of rights. Are you getting it or not? When duties are there, we always try to avoid the duties. We always try to shrug our duties. Are you getting it or not? When responsibilities are there, we try to avoid the responsibilities. Clear? What ethics teaches you? Ethics teaches you how to realize your rights properly. How you should use your rights in a way that your rights don't become a kind of a problem to other people. Is it clear or not? एक example लेते हैं. Today, in the name of freedom of speech and expression, people are abusing their speech and expression in such a way that it is creating trouble for other people. ऐसा हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है? In the name of rights. Are you getting? When the matter of duties come, people are not ready to take their duty. ऐसा हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है? Are you getting it or not? When the responsibilities are there, nobody is ready to take the responsibility. Even Gandhi ji, what Mahatma Gandhi ji said? Mahatma Gandhi ji said that everybody's rights and nobody's duty will mean nobody's rights. Everybody's rights and nobody's duties will mean nobody's rights. अब ethics का role कहां पे आता है यहाँ पे? Moment you will understand the ethics, you will understand the limitation of your rights. You will understand कि that आपका rights कहां तक जाता है, कहां तक खत्म होता है. Are you getting it or not? You will understand the true nature of your duties. You will understand how to take the charge of your responsibilities. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? ठीक है. ड्यूटीज कब करते हो? जब कोई देखने वाला है. When there is nobody to see, you are not doing your duty. Clear? So the moment the ethics comes, ethics makes sure that the duty for the sake of duty is being done. Duty for the sake of duty. Bhagavad Gita calls, Bhagavad Gita says that duty for the sake of duty is nothing but the dharma. Duty for the sake of duty is nothing but the dharma. Are you getting it or not? धर्म क्या है? ड्यूटी फॉर द सेक ऑफ ड्यूटी. इसलिए ड्यूटी नहीं कर रहे हैं कि कोई देख रहा है या कोई पनिश कर देगा. ड्यूटी क्यों करना है? क्योंकि ड्यूटी है तो ड्यूटी करना है बस. एंड हाउ you will get this spirit that duty for the sake of duty is to be done only when you will learn ethics. You're getting it or not? समझ में आ रहा है कुछ या नहीं आ रहा है? ये सब क्या है? In one line, what all these are? All these are the different things. All these are the different ways to look on this single word, that is ethics. Are you getting it or not? Ethics, one more dimension I'll tell. Ethics helps us in making right judgment. Ethics helps us in making right judgment. Okay. Ethics helps in making right judgment. Suppose you are standing on a bus stop and you see that you are waiting for a bus and there is a poor daily wage earner also who is standing next to you. Okay. As he is boarding his bus, by mistake he has dropped his wallet. Now you can see that into that wallet there is a lot of cash. Probably that particular person got his wages or got his salary. Okay, and you can tell that yes, he's a poor person. Okay, and this is his wallet, a lot of cash is there. You need money for shopping, या पैसे की तो हमेशा जरूरत है, कभी खत्म ही नहीं होती है. ठीक है. अब you have to make a judgment. Judgment A, he had just forgot his wallet, या उसका wallet गिर गया. Let him go. you will pick the wallet and will use the money. Clear? Judgment 1. Judgment 2, no, I should pick that wallet immediately and I should give that wallet to the person to whom it belongs, because this money might give me a momentary pleasure, but this money will provide the basic necessities to this person and to his family. Are you getting it or not? Now, ethics helps us in making the right kind of judgment. A person will make, अब 90% होगा, ये 90% लोग एक जजमेंट बना सकते हैं कि दैट ओके, लेट्स टेक दैट मनी एंड लेट्स यूज, भाई मेरे को भी बहुत जरूरत है. आर यू गेटिंग? बट द मोमेंट एथिक्स कम्स, ethics will make you realize that no, rather than convenience, I need to do right thing. I need to return that wallet to the person to whom it belongs. So ethics will help you in making the right judgment. कब क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना वो ethics आपको बताएगा. You are going to become a public servant. You are going to become a public servant, whether to accept a bribe or not. Obviously no. कितना भी tempting offer हो, but you cannot do that particular thing. Why you cannot do that particular thing? Because it is not the right thing. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? ठीक है, तो बोलने का मतलब ये है कि दैट एथिक्स ही पढ़ना है पूरे में. एक लाइन का डेफिनेशन के सर रट्टा मार लिया, एथिक्स इज द स्टडी ऑफ ह्यूमन बिहेवियर अंडर द लेंस ऑफ राइट एंड रॉन्ग. ठीक है, बट देयर आर द डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस आल्सो इनटू द एथिक्स. अब एथिक्स कभी भी आ जाता है तो हमेशा वही डेफिनेशन नहीं चिपका सकते हो. Clear? Somewhere ethics will mean dharma. Somewhere the ethics will mean a kind of an ideal conduct. Somewhere the ethics will mean a condition of good life. Somewhere the ethics will mean realization of your responsibilities. Are you getting it or not? तो जैसा situation होगा, the type of circumstance there is, will use that particular definition of ethics. Are you getting it or not? जैसा सर्कमस्टांस आएगा वो वाला टाइप का डेफिनेशन हम लोग यूज करेंगे. डोंट स्ट्रिक्ट टू ओनली वन डेफिनेशन. आर वी क्लियर हियर? यस और नो? आर वी क्लियर हियर? देखो ऐसा हाँ नहीं बोलना है कि दैट नहीं सर बस समझ में आ गया. एनी प्रॉब्लम इफ यू हैव, रिमेंबर द रूल नंबर 1. हाँ जी, इस साइड में इज एवरीथिंग क्लियर? दिस साइड एवरीथिंग क्लियर? आई थिंक हाउ मेनी डायमेंशंस? 7 डायमेंशंस वी हैव रेड अबाउट द एथिक्स. ठीक है, just in 30 seconds I'll repeat all them and then we'll move to the next topic. Number 1, ethics is the study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong. Clear? Second, ethics provides what ought to be, means what should be ideal behavior. Clear? Third, ethics has been defined in Mahabharata and Bible. Mahabharata says, Atmana pratikulani pareshana samacharet. What is adverse to you, what is bad for you, you should not do that thing to others. Are you getting it or not? समझ में आ रहा है? Good. Then ethics applies to conscious human behavior. This dimension clear? Fine. Then ethics teaches as how to live a good life. Is this dimension clear? Yes or no? Yes, very good. Ethics makes us realize our rights, duties and responsibilities. Clear? Ethics helps us to form right judgments. Is it clear? Very good. समझ में आ रहा है? चलो, let's move. ठीक है, तो gradually we'll be making up this particular base. Now, Gabbar and Mogambo, they ask one question that why to be ethical at all? क्यों ethical होना है? Ethical नहीं है तो ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है. Ethical नहीं है तो ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है. ठीक है, suppose I'm not ethical. I can take a lot of bribe. I can make the foreign world trip, world tour कर सकता हूँ, fancy cars में घूम सकता हूँ. ठीक है, there was a poor person, he dropped his wallet. वो अपना देखेगा, I'll take that money and I'll buy some new clothes. You getting? वो पार्टी करेंगे आज. अनएथिकल होके ज्यादा मजा आता है. You're getting it or not? So why to be ethical at all? This is a question. Ethics will provide all this thing. Okay, क्यों चाहिए वो चीजें? Why to be ethical at all? So listen this thing very carefully. See, in the course of our life, we come across two things: objective facts and subjective assessments. In the course of our life, we come across two things: ध्यान से सुनना, बहुत इजी कंसेप्ट है, वेरी वेरी इजी कंसेप्ट, ठीक है, कोई थर्ड क्लास के बच्चों को बताएंगे तो वो भी समझ जाएगा. In our life we have two things, objective facts and the subjective assessments. What are the objective facts? 2 plus 2 4. Clear? If an apple falls from a tree, it will come down or it will go up? It will come down. Clear? If I will touch fire, will my hand get burned or not? हाथ जल जाएगा या नहीं जलेगा? जलेगा. Are you getting it or not? If I touch ice, will I feel cold or not? कोई दूसरा ऑप्शन है क्या? नहीं है. Objective facts. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. If there basically anything falling from a height will go down because of the gravity. If I will touch fire, I will get burned. If I will touch ice, I will feel cold. Objective facts are there where what is to be done, what is not to be done, what will happen, it is very clear. What is to be done, what is not to be done, what will happen, it is very clear. If I will touch fire, the consequence is that I am going to be burned. समझने की कोशिश करो क्या बता रहा हूं. In our life, there are two things that we come across. The objective facts, where what is to be done, it is very clear. Are you getting it or not? कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आग है तो हाथ हटाओगे ही. But rather than the objective facts, there are another things also into the life that we need to deal with. There are the subjective assessments. There are the subjective assessments. ध्यान से सुनना बिल्कुल, very very easy concept. Subjective assessment, it means that sometimes there will be the situations where there is not a clear rule that what is to be done, what is not to be done. There is no clear rule that what is to be done, what is not to be done. I need to decide, I need to make a choice that what I am going to do here in this particular situation. Clear? कोई रूल नहीं है कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो. You have to decide. Many subjective assessments will come in your life. Clear? Let's take, अब ये सारी चीजें कनेक्ट हो जाएंगी. Just be with me for 2-3 minutes. Now, I'll give you one example. This was a movie that came on the Netflix 2-3 years back. The name of the movie was The Platform. Clear? और अब ये movie, it is something what happens in our society. तो इस मूवी का पहले प्लॉट बता देता हूं आपको, and then I'll come to this point. This movie Platform, अब यहां पे क्या होता है? Actually, there is a huge tower. There is a huge tower. A building is there. In that building, on every floor, there are certain people that are placed. There are certain people who are present there or they are trapped here. अब यहाँ पे क्या है? Every day, a kind of a platform comes. A kind of a platform comes. On this platform, they have the best of the best food that is there. Are you getting it or not? Finest cuisine, finest food prepared by the finest chefs of the world. They place the food and this particular platform comes. वो यहाँ पे आएगा. Level number 1, it will stop for a few minutes. Fine. People who are here, they will eat it. Then it will go to the next level. Then it will stop for a few minutes. फिर यहाँ पे लोग खा लेंगे. उसके बाद में ये फिर वो नीचे जाता जाएगा. You're getting it or not? Now, the people, they are living on particular levels. अब क्या होता है? Every month they are shuffled. Every month they are shuffled. Suppose this is the level 1. The food will directly come here. तो यहां पे इसको सब कुछ मिलने वाला है. You're getting it or not? इसको सब कुछ मिलने वाला है. अब ये लेवल चेंज हो जाते हैं. You don't know कि that on which level you will be ending the next month. This month you are on this level 1. Next month you might be at the level 100. Clear? We don't know how many levels are there. But what happens actually when the food is going down? अब हाँ, food sufficient है, हर कोई खा सकता है. The food is prepared in such a quantity that every person who is into this particular tower, he will be fed. But actual में क्या होता है? Actual में ये होता है कि that the level comes here, the people who are here, they eat the food disproportionate to their needs. They waste the food. Clear? They puke on the food. Okay, they urinate on the food. Are you getting it or not? They are doing this particular thing. Are you getting? And जैसे ही ये few levels below it goes, level 40, level 45, there is no food. And the people who are living at the below levels, what they are doing? They are hungry, they are starving. Even there are the cases where the people are killing each other. On one level, there are two people. They are killing each other so that they can involve in cannibalism and they can survive. You're getting it or not? ठीक है, समझो स्टोरी को, कुछ समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? क्लियर? अब यहां पे क्या हो रहा है? Even the person who is at this particular level 1, he is getting the plenty of the food today. He knows that the next month he might be on 100 level, jahan pe he will not be getting the food. Are you getting? Today, if he mends his behavior and if everybody mends their behavior, that okay, हम एक responsible way के अंदर में food consume करेंगे, everybody will be fed. Are you getting it or not? But they are not doing this particular thing. And when they are not doing this particular thing, what is happening? Everybody is constantly in a danger. Everybody is constantly in a danger. Now, see, when the food is coming at this particular level, level number 1, this person who is sitting here, it is a subjective situation. He can eat the food in moderation, or he can eat disproportionate food, waste the food, can urinate on the food and can make food unsuitable for the people who are below. वो ऐसा कर सकता है. Other way is that he can eat the food in moderation. Are you getting it or not? It is the matter where subjective assessment is to be done. Is this the case where the subjective assessment is to be done कि क्या करें और क्या ना करें? क्या ये वो वाला केस है या नहीं है? इनके पास में कोई रूल नहीं है कि दैट आपको इतना ही खाना है, ये जो चाहे वो कर सकते हैं. Whatever they want, they can do anything. But the moment the food is coming, he has to make a choice. He has to make a subjective assessment. Are you getting it or not? Now, the moment you have ethics, you will make your assessments in such a way that everybody's welfare will be there. Yes, ma'am? Who is? थोड़ा सा तेज. Yes. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? अब एक और चीज आपको बताता हूं. See, at the end of the day, ethics is the precondition for survival of everybody. Ethics is the precondition for survival of everybody. Clear? Why to be ethical at all? दोबारा से समझते हैं. Why to be ethical at all? We have certain objective facts where rules are very clear what is to be done, what is not to be done. Where rules are very clear what is to be done, what is not to be done. But इनको छोड़ दो. They are not our concern. Most of the things in our life, they are subjective. Most of the things in our life are subjective. Most of the times when we are doing a behavior, we have a choice what to be done, what not to be done. Are you getting it or not? If you have ethics, your choices will be such that in long term it will conserve the society. In long term it will conserve you. इसीलिए ethics जरूरी है. Ethics इसलिए जरूरी नहीं है कि that स्वर्ग मिल जाएगा बाद में. एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल आप लोगों को देता हूं. You all are sitting in this class. You all are sitting in this class. Peacefully you all are sitting in this class. क्या कोई डर है क्या अभी? नहीं है. You are feeling a sense of safety and security. एक sense of safety and security है या नहीं है? है. ये sense of safety and security, is it because there is a police? Is it because there is an army? कि that okay, मेरे को कुछ होगा तो पुलिस और आर्मी आके बचा लेगी? Though that is a factor, but apart from that, a sense of safety and security is there because you know that the fellow classmate will not be unnecessarily be beating you, will not be unnecessarily be harassing you. Why he'll not do that thing unnecessarily? Because he has certain or she has certain ethics. Are you getting it or not? There is a book by the name of Sapiens. In the book Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari, he writes this thing that 80,000 people, they go in a stadium, they watch a match in that stadium, they watch the match, they come home, everything happens in a peaceful manner. Can you imagine 80,000 monkeys सिटिंग एट वन प्लेस पीसफुली, कैसा हो सकता है क्या? कैन यू इमेजिन 80,000 monkeys सिटिंग एट अ प्लेस पीसफुली? नो, दे विल क्रिएट रकस. होगा या नहीं होगा? Why humans are 80,000 humans are sitting at a place and they are behaving peacefully? Because there is a sense of ethicality के ये करना है और ये नहीं करना. क्योंकि ये सेंस ऑफ एथिकलिटी हमारे अंदर में है, तभी हमारा सर्वाइवल आज तक हो पाया है. तभी आज तक हमारा सर्वाइवल हो पाया है. We developed to this a particular level. Why? Because there was always ethics in our conduct. We cooperated. We behaved. You're getting it or not? So we need to be ethical so that the society as a whole can be conserved. If we will not be ethical, ठीक है, अब एनिमल्स में क्या रूल होता है? द माइट इज राइट. स्ट्रॉन्ग एनिमल, अ बिग फिश विल ईट द स्मॉल फिश. ये होता है या नहीं होता? आर यू गेटिंग? इफ ह्यूमंस विल आल्सो स्टार्ट लिविंग विद दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, कैन द सिविलाइजेशन बी सस्टेन्ड? सिविलाइजेशन सस्टेन हो सकती है क्या? सिविलाइजेशन सस्टेन नहीं हो सकती है. तो एथिक्स का रोल कहां पे आता है? एथिक्स का रोल ये आता है कि दैट व्हेन वी आर making subjective assessments, when we are making our choice what to be done, what not to be done, if our choice will be ethical choices, at the end of the day entire society will be conserved. See this particular example. When the food was coming, when the resource was coming, this particular person has a choice. He can abuse the resource or he can use the resource. He has a choice. It is a subjective assessment that the resource is coming. Should I abuse it or should I use it? Because everybody is abusing here. Are they safe? No. This person who is at level 1 today, next month, this particular person could be at level number 100 where no food will come. Because today, the person who is at the level 1, वो भी वैसे ही abuse कर रहा है जैसे उसने abuse किया था. क्या यहाँ पे survival हो पाएगा? At the end of the day, everybody will die. At the end of the day, everybody will die. Are you getting it or not? Today, if he is ethical here, are you getting? And people learn from him. Everybody becomes ethical. आप level 100 पे रहो, आप level 500 पे रहो, you are not going to die. You will get food. Because food इतना बनाया गया है. कुछ समझ में आया या नहीं आया? आर यू गेटिंग समथिंग और नॉट? ठीक है. सो व्हाई टू बी एथिकल एट ऑल? You need to be ethical because when the subjective assessments are there, when we have an option to make the choice, ethics will make our choice more sustainable. Is it clear or not? Please write a couple of lines here. Please write. Human beings often have to make human beings often have to make human beings often have to make choices and they have to make subjective assessment of situations and they have to make subjective assessment of situations. Full stop. They are free to choose. They are free to choose. They are free to choose. But their choices but their choices will certainly have consequences, but their choices will certainly have consequences in the long run, but their choices will certainly have the consequences in the long run. Full stop. Hence, hence, ethics, hence, ethics will play an important role. Hence, ethics will play an important role. Full stop. If ethical choices will be made, if ethical choices will be made, it will ensure, it will ensure the collective welfare, it will ensure the collective welfare comma it will conserve the society, it will conserve the society and will bring everlasting justice, and will bring everlasting justice. Full stop. On the other hand, on the other hand, if choices will be made without considering the ethicality, without considering the ethicality, without considering the ethicality, it will establish the rule of might is right, it will establish the rule of might is, it will establish the rule of might is right, and eventually and eventually the entire society will, and eventually the entire society will descend in, and eventually the entire society will descend in chaos, chaos. Are you getting it or not? और फिर ना माइट बचेगा ना राइट बचेगा, कुछ नहीं बचेगा. यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? तो अब हम लोग एथिकल बन रहे हैं तो इसलिए नहीं बन रहे हैं कि दैट स्वर्ग मिलना है, इसलिए एथिकल नहीं बन रहे हैं कि दैट ओके मतलब हम किसी के ऊपर में एहसान कर रहे हैं. इफ वी आर बिकमिंग एथिकल, इट इज जस्ट सो दैट द सोसाइटी कैन बी सस्टेन्ड. यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? आर यू गेटिंग? मैं आपको प्रोबेबली देखो, आज की सोसाइटी आप देखोगे, we have achieved a lot, yes or no? Humans are the only creatures which have created so much complex things. We have achieved a lot, you cannot deny that thing. Why? Because there was a sense of cooperation that was there in each other, there was a sense of ethicality that was there when our relations were concerned. You're getting it or not? But still there are certain problems also in the society. बहुत अचीव करा, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स है ना, पॉवर्टी है ना, इनइक्वालिटी है ना. क्यों? क्योंकि एथिक्स में फिर भी कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ी बहुत कमी रह गई. You're getting it or not? Will bring more ethicality so that more perfect version of society can be created. Are you getting it or not? ठीक है, इस टॉपिक बस इस वाले डिस्कशन को वाइंड अप करते हैं. लास्ट में बस एक कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू so that your understanding is cemented. See, when this particular person was here, he was free to choose. ये एग्जाम्पल है पूरी सोसाइटी का, दिस इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एंटायर सोसाइटी। यही तो हो रहा है ना पूरी सोसाइटी में। जो रिच है, जिसके पास में सारा रिसोर्स है, ही वॉन्ट्स टू हैव दैट पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्स, एंड द पीपल एट द बिलो दे आर गेटिंग impoverished। ठीक है, तो समझो, this person he has a choice, he can use this resource or he can abuse this resource। if he will use this resource properly, the resource will be left for everybody। are you getting it or not? whether he will use or whether he will abuse will depend whether the person is ethical or unethical। are you getting it or not? if this person is ethical and he uses the resource properly, and if everybody is ethical and all of them use the resource properly, nobody has to die, everybody will survive। are you getting it or not? so if today he is becoming ethical, it will ensure his survival tomorrow when he will end up at the level 100। ये हो जाएगा या नहीं हो जाएगा? are you getting it or not? गांधी जी talks about अंत्योदय, गांधी जी talks about सर्वोदय, अंत्योदय the welfare of the last person, सर्वोदय the welfare of every person। सर्वोदय and अंत्योदय can only happen if we are ethical in our choices that we are making। you are getting it or not? ठीक है, तो ये तो सिर्फ प्राइमर है, ऑल दीज थिंग्स ये बाद में भी आने वाली है। चलिए, वेरी गुड। एनी डाउट हियर? नाउ as we talk about the ethics, the next thing that we are going to discuss is that what is the nature of ethics? what is the nature of ethics? okay, can I see one of the handout copy? okay, thank you। okay, so you have been given a printed handout also। ठीक है, ये प्रिंटेड हैंडआउट भी आपके हैंडआउट्स के अंदर में इंक्लूडेड है। ठीक है, so basically we have given here the references from the current affairs, the contemporary dimensions। okay, so they will be given to you as the class will be going on। ठीक है, so जितना भी एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, एनेक्डोट्स हैं जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, उनको भी स्क्रिबल करते रहो। you're getting it or not? fine, now the next, what is the nature of ethics? are ethics universal or they are spatio-temporally inconsistent? ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा अगर हैवी वर्ड लग रहा है तो इग्नोर करो। मतलब क्या है? आर एथिक्स यूनिवर्सल, मतलब हर जगह एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड्स एक ही होते हैं, और वेदर द एथिक्स आर लायबल टू चेंज। spatio means related to the space, temporal means related to the time। दोबारा बताता हूं, spatio means related to space। रिपीट करेंगे, spatio means related to space, मतलब जैसे जगह बदल जाएगी कुछ चेंज हो जाएगा। temporal means related to time, अगेन रिपीट, temporal means related to time, means जैसे टाइम बदलेगा तो कुछ चेंज हो जाएगा। तो एथिक्स का नेचर क्या है? what is the nature of ethics? are ethics universal? means they don't change, they don't change with the time, they don't change with the space। क्या एथिक्स ऐसे हैं? और do ethics have spatio-temporal inconsistency? means they will change, they will change when the space will change and when the time will change। what is the nature of ethics? this is something that we'll discuss here। हाँ जी, क्लियर है या नहीं है? what is the nature of ethics? clear or not? चलो, before going in this particular discussion, what you feel, what you feel is the nature of ethics? are ethics universal? कि सर ये तो चेंज नहीं होते हैं। Are you getting? कल भी वही थे, आज भी वही हैं, अमेरिका में भी वही हैं, इंडिया में भी वही हैं, पाकिस्तान में भी वही हैं, और do you think that they will change? yes, yes Arijit, what do you think? it will change। चलो, गुड, ठीक है। हाँ जी मैम। चलो वेरी गुड, एक्सीलेंट। हाँ जी, हाँ जी सर बताइए। मे बी बोथ। चलो वेरी गुड। चलो लेट्स सी। समझ तो आ गया ना, क्या क्वेश्चन समझ में आ गया ना पहले तो। व्हाट इज द नेचर ऑफ एथिक्स? सी दीज थिंग्स, द डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस आर कमिंग, यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? नो, बोथ। Number one, they are universal. Number one, there are certain people who say that, sir, the nature of ethics is that they are universal. Okay, they will remain same. Are you getting it or not? For example, speaking or using a lie. Lie was unethical 100 years back. True or false? True. Lie was unethical 100 years back. True or false? True. Lying is unethical today. True or false? Lying is unethical today. True or false? True. Lying is unethical in America. True or false? True. Lying is unethical in India. True or false? अब डग मगाना नहीं है। Lying is unethical in Pakistan. True or false? True. Is it clear? मतलब कहाँ चेंज हुआ? जो अनएथिकल है वो कल भी अनएथिकल था, आज भी है, इंडिया में भी है, पाकिस्तान में भी है. सो देयर इज वन व्यू पॉइंट दैट ethics are universal. Who we have here? Even life. Yes. I didn't got your question. What you are saying? हाँ, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा टाइम रुक जाइए, इस क्वेश्चन को डिस्कस करेंगे. आर यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? बिकॉज वो थोड़ा सा ज्यादा हो जाएगा कि दैट लाइफ सेव करने के लिए झूठ यूज करें तो वो क्या है. क्लियर? बट उससे पहले आई नीड टू एक्सप्लेन यू समथिंग अबाउट डिओंटोलॉजी. आई नीड टू एक्सप्लेन यू समथिंग अबाउट टेलियोलॉजी, क्योंकि वो समझने के बाद में ये दैट क्वेश्चन वी कैन इन्वेस्टिगेट. सो वेट फॉर लिटिल बिट टाइम. चलो. सो वी हैव Socrates here. You know about Socrates? Socrates, the Greek philosopher, he had actually given the philosophy of moral absolutism. Moral absolutism, ethical absolutism. Is it clear? Socrates, he had given the theory of moral or the ethical absolutism. What does Socrates have said here in this particular philosophy? Socrates had said that the ethics is all about following virtues. सोक्रेटिस की फिलोसफी सिंपल एक लाइन की है, दो लाइन भी नहीं है, एक ही लाइन है. You getting it or not? Even not the two lines, one line. Socrates says that the ethics is all about following the virtues. Clear? अब virtues क्या होते हैं इसको बाद में बहुत डिटेल में डिस्कशन करेंगे, बट फॉर द टाइमिंग आई टेल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, स्पीकिंग ट्रूथ इज वर्च्यू. Speaking truth is virtue. Are you getting it or not? Generosity, helping the people. Charity, it is a virtue. Generosity is the virtue. Always speaking the truth is the virtue. Are you getting it or not? Justice is the virtue. Clear? So, Socrates says that the ethics is all about following the virtues. And virtues will always be universal. Are you getting clear? Virtues are the best of the best values. Are you getting it? थोड़ा सा भी virtues को समझाने के लिए इतना समझ लो. Virtues detail will discuss later. This the Socrates says. Socrates says that the virtues, for example, truth is a virtue. Truth क्या है? Truth is a virtue. अभी बस इतना समझो. Truth is a virtue. Now this virtue is to be followed in America, it is to be followed in India, it was to be followed 100 years back, it will be followed 100 years in the future also. So ethics is all about virtues, and virtues will always be universal. Virtues will always be universal. This is the ethical absolutism that the Socrates has given. इतना समझ में आया या नहीं आया? ठीक है. This is the quote, this is something that was said by Socrates. What Socrates says? A system of morality that is based on relative emotional values is a mere illusion, a thoroughly vulgar conception that has nothing sound in it and nothing true. सोक्रेटिस ने बोला कि दैट एथिक्स तो यूनिवर्सल ही होंगे. If ethics are based on some relative values, those are not at all ethics. The nature of ethics has to be such that the ethics will be universal. Ethics cannot be relative. ठीक है, अब ये वाला कोड थोड़ा सा और ज्यादा समझ में आएगा after few minutes. This code will make even more sense just in a few minutes. Is it clear or not? I'll show this thing again. Now, when we talk about that the nature of ethics is universal, universal means that the ethics don't change. We have one more person here. His name is Michael Huemer. Michael Huemer. Now, Michael Huemer ने क्या कहा है? Michael Huemer has given ethical intuitionism. Ethical intuitionism. Clear? Michael Huemer, he has given ethical intuitionism. Now what this is? ठीक है, घबराना नहीं है कि दैट ये तो सर पता नहीं क्या बड़ा वर्ड आ गया. Very simple. You getting it or not? Michael Huemer says that what actually happens, he says that ethics and morals or ethical principles, they are imprinted in the human mind by God, by some divine. Are you getting it or not? समझते हैं. Suppose I am going to harass a poor person. I am going to harass a poor person for my own benefit. Even I am going to do this particular thing, I will get an intuition in my mind that whatever I am going to do, it is bad. Are you getting it or not? I am an Indian, I will get this particular intuition कि मैं गलत कर रहा हूँ. I will be a Pakistani, I will get this intuition कि that गलत हो रहा है. I will be a kind of an American, I will feel कि that गलत हो रहा है. रीजन हो सकता है कुछ, कितना भी कंपेलिंग हो, लेकिन हो तो गलत रहा है. ये इंट्यूशन आएगी या नहीं आएगी? Are you getting it or not? So basically the ethical intuitionism, this is that ethics are imprinted as intuitions into the mind of a human by the God, and these intuitions are same for every person and for every time. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Are you getting it or not? Ethical intuitionism, again I'll explain. Ethical intuitionism says that ethics and morals are imprinted in our mind. मतलब भगवान समझो, there is God. God has imprinted in your mind that this is ethical, this is unethical, this is moral, this is immoral, and these imprints will be same for every person and for every time. Are you getting it or not? आप Apple का iPhone यूज करते हो. You're getting it or not? You use an Apple iPhone. Now suppose Apple के iPhone के अंदर में आपका एक particular operating system चल रहा है. There is a particular operating system, iOS 15, let's say, that everybody is using. Who is using an Apple iPhone? You have iPhone, you have iPhone, you have iPhone. Some person sitting in America, he has iPhone. Will every iPhone's features, layouts will be same or they will be different? It will be same. Are you getting it or not? Same interface. Your iPhone will be having same interface. Your iPhone will be having same interface will be there. If a person is having iPhone in America. Are you getting it or not? Apple is sending a kind of an update. थोड़ा बहुत देखो changes हो सकता है, वो तो क्योंकि हम अलग example ले रहे हैं ना. So ethical intuitionism, here the Michael Huemer says that we get to know about the ethics and morals as intuitions. These intuitions are imprinted in our mind by divine, and these intuitions everybody receive the same kind of intuition. जैसे when Apple send an update, everybody receives the same update. In the same way, God sends moral intuitions, ethical intuitions, और सबको एक ही जैसे intuitions आते हैं. So इसका मतलब ethics are universal. I'll give you a dictation in 3, 3, 4, 4 lines. उसकी टेंशन मत लो, भी समझने पे ध्यान दो. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? Are you getting? So coming back to what the question was. Question was that what is the nature of ethics? Are ethics universal or ethics relative? They change. They are spatio-temporal inconsistence. So when we say that the ethics are universal, we have here Socrates. Socrates बोलते हैं that ethics is all about following virtues and virtues have to be universal. Are you getting it or not? Then second we got the Michael Humer. Michael Humer says that the ethics and morals are imprinted in our mind by divine, and the same kind of an ethical update is given to every person. ठीक है, चलो. Now there are the people who are in opposition to the Socrates. Clear? These people, they are called as a sophist. These people are called as sophist. अब थोड़ा सा I'll tell you about the sophist, that who the sophists are. So basically the sophist, these were the philosophers who were living in the Greece, in the ancient Greece. These people, they used to involve in argument, they used to involve in debates. Are you getting it or not? So the sophists, they were the early thinkers living in the Greece during the time of the Socrates and Plato. Are you getting it or not? They used to involve in the debates, logical discussions and all these kind of things. So sophists were the group of people. Sophist एक person नहीं है. Sophist is a group of people. Within sophists there are many great thinkers that are there. Protagoras is there, for example. Are you getting it or not? The sophist is a group of people living into the Greece when the Socrates and Plato were there. Now, what the sophist says? Sophist ne, they say that the ethics are not universal. Ethics are not universal. They had given the theory of ethical relativism. What they have done? They have given the theory of ethical relativism. Now, this says that ethics will change from person to person, from time to time. मैं आप लोगों को एक एग्जांपल देता हूं. Suppose Abhishek is born in a vegetarian Jain family. Abhishek is born in a vegetarian Jain family. For him, eating non-veg is highly unethical. Eating non-veg is highly unethical. You are getting it or not? ठीक है, मेरा example. I am living on an island. I am living on an island. On that island, agriculture is not possible. Okay, and all the people living on my island, only option for food that is there is seafood. Are you getting it or not? I say eating the seafood, eating the non-veg is not unethical. It is simply a food that I am consuming. आपके लिए नॉन वेजिटेरियन फूड अनएथिकल है, मेरे लिए नॉन वेजिटेरियन फूड एथिकल हो गया. तो एथिक्स चेंज हुए या नहीं हुए? एथिक्स चेंज हुए या नहीं हुए? एथिक्स चेंज हो गए ना. Basically, what happens into the ethical relativism, the sophist says that the ethics will be relative. Ethics will be relative. They will change as the time will change. They will change as the place will change. They will change as the person will change. Are you getting it or not? He says that nothing is universal. Nothing is universal. Clear? अब देखो यहाँ पे this person is saying, ये जो भी सिंबल है, let's say that वैसे तो ये रूबल का सिंबल होता है, but let's say that P is true. This person is saying, this lady is saying P is not true. Sophist कहते हैं कि that दोनों ही अपने में लिए सही हैं. इसके लिए P true है, ये अपने में सही है. इसके लिए P false है, ये अपने लिए सही है. You're getting it or not? थोड़ा सा समझो, 2 मिनट लगेगा. Sophist has given the theory of homo mensura. Sophist has given the theory of homo mensura. In homo mensura, actually the Protagoras, one of a sophist thinker, he has given the theory of homo mensura. Homo mensura means that the humankind is the measure of all things. There is nothing which is universal that everybody has to follow. they say that the humans will determine by themselves that what is right for them, what is wrong for them. Ethically universal कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. Every man, every society will determine that what is ethical for them and what is unethical for them. Are you getting it or not? They will say that the ethics are relative. They will change from time to time. They will change from person to person. You're getting it or not? 2-3 examples लेते हैं. Let's say if we talk about when you are praying in a temple, if we talk about a Hindu society, let's say you are praying in a temple. Are you getting it or not? Even if you are thinking about alcohol, even if you are thinking about alcohol, it is unacceptable, it is unethical. True or false? True or false? True or false? True. But in the church, the wine, the holy wine is given as an offering. The holy wine is given as an offering. True or false? True. So in a church, offering the holy wine is acceptable, but in some another kind of religion, another religions, even thinking about it, offer तो क्वेश्चन में नहीं है, even thinking about it is unethical and unacceptable. So क्या ethical था, क्या ethical नहीं था, change हो गया या नहीं हो गया? Is it getting changed or not? Are you getting it or not? Sophist. These people say, suppose there is a person and there is a person and he had dipped the stick in the water. Now, when you dip a stick in the water, the stick looks that it is bent. Yes or no? If you put a stick in the water, the stick will look that it is bent. होता है या नहीं होता? This person who had put the stick in the water, he knows that the stick is actually straight. There is another person who is passing from here. वो इस stick को देखता है and he says that the stick is actually bent. Are you getting it or not? He is correct from his position from where he is seeing the things. This person is correct from his own situation. This person is correct from his own situation. हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा? Are you getting it or not? So basically what has happened, the sophist people, they will say that the ethics are relative. Societies will change, ethics will change. Time will change, ethics will change. होता है या नहीं होता? हमने देखा या नहीं देखा? होता है या नहीं होता है? होता है ना? हम लोग एग्जाम्पल भी लेंगे. We'll also take the examples that how the ethics changes from time to time. एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल ले लेते हैं. 150 years back, 200 years back, the women who were becoming sati, those women were called as the most chaste, most pious kind of women, chaste women. Are you getting it or not? The women who were becoming sati, they were called as the most virtuous kind of women. And to be a sati for a woman was ethical. Are you getting it? It was even expected that the women should go sati if the husband has died. 150 years back, it was ethical and it was acceptable. Is today sati ethical and acceptable? तो जैसे टाइम चेंज हुआ, एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड चेंज हो गए या नहीं हो गए? हो गए या नहीं हो गए? हो गए. Ethics are relative. So, coming again back to the question, what is the nature of ethics? Are they universal? So we have the Socrates. Socrates will say that the ethics are universal. समझ में आया? Are you getting it or not? He says that the ethics is just following your virtues. We have Michael Humer. Michael Humer will say that yes, the ethics are universal because they are imprinted by the God. Every time the same ethical standards are being imprinted on every person because God तो एक ही है ना सबके लिए. The God is one for everybody. Then the opposite, sophist, these say that the ethics are not universal. They say that the ethics are relative. Their theory is called as ethical. Their theory is called as ethical relativism. What they say? They say homo mensura. They say homo mensura. What is the meaning of homo mensura? Homo mensura means that the man is the measure of all things. Man will determine that what is ethical for this society, what is ethical for other society, What is ethical in this time? What is ethical in some another time? Man will determine. So ethics are relative. Yes, it is. Homo mensura. Homo mensura is a concept which was given in this Homo mensura book. मतलब होमो मेंसूरा इज अ कंसेप्ट ओनली. ठीक है, अब क्वेश्चन आ जाता है, बोला कि अब करें क्या? इज इट क्लियर? अ लेजिटिमेट क्वेश्चन इज दैट कि दैट कहना क्या चाहते हो, क्या करें? एथिक्स यूनिवर्सल है या रिलेटिव है? बिकॉज दोनों ही अलग अलग बात बोल रहे हैं. यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? ठीक है, चलो एक चीज दिखाता हूं. सोफिस्ट व्हाट दे सेड दैट एथिक्स आर रिलेटिव. बोला था ना. एक्चुअली this quote of the Socrates was a reply that was given to the sophist only. Sophist क्या कह रहे थे कि that ethics are relative. तो आज जैसे कांग्रेस ने कुछ बोला, फिर बीजेपी ने कुछ बोला, बीजेपी वाले कांग्रेस को क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं, कांग्रेस वाले बीजेपी को क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं, ये काम पहले भी होते थे. सोफिस्ट इन्होंने क्या बोला? एथिकल रिलेटिविज्म. ठीक है, तो इनको बोलो, समझ लो कि दैट दे आर बीजेपी और कांग्रेस. तो अब सोक्रेटिस क्या बोलते हैं? अब सोक्रेटिस की स्टेटमेंट को पढ़ो. अ सिस्टम ऑफ मोरालिटी दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन रिलेटिव वैल्यूज, रिलेटिव इमोशनल वैल्यूज, इट इज इल्यूजन. इट इज अ वल्गर कंसेप्ट. इट हैज नथिंग साउंड इन इट. इट हैज नथिंग ट्रू इन इट. दे आर बोथ इन ओपोजिशन टू ईच अदर. यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? सो अब हमारे लिए चीजें आ जाता है, क्वेश्चन आ जाता है कि दैट हम क्या करें? If somebody asks, are ethics any universal or ethics relative, what should we say? What should we say? What should we do? Here we will take the help of Buddha. बुद्धा क्या बोलते हैं? मध्यम मार्ग. बुद्धा क्या कहते हैं? मिडल पाथ. So what is really the nature of ethics? Taking the madhyam marg, we will say that ethics are both. Ethics are both. Ethics are universal as well as relative. ठीक है, इसी बात पे एक छोटा सा चुटकुला सुनाता हूं. ठीक है, so when the UPA government was there, there was a kind of a belief that at that point of a time, Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh, he used not to take any kind of a stand. ऐसा उस टाइम के ऊपर में बोलते थे. Is it clear or not? By the way, a great economist, by the way, a great scholar. तो उस टाइम का एक चुटकुला आता है कि दैट एक बार क्या हो रहा था, दैट मिस्टर मनमोहन सिंह वाज टेकिंग सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द प्रेस. द प्रेस वाज, प्रेस का एक तरफ के लोग बोलते हैं कि दैट इकोनॉमी कहाँ जा रही है, इकोनॉमी इज डूइंग सो मच पुअर, फाइन, द रूपी इज डेप्रिशिएटिंग, दिस इज हैपनिंग, दिस इज हैपनिंग. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर सेज दैट यस, सही बात है. आर यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? फिर डिफेंस के अंदर में कुछ दूसरे लीडर बोलते हैं कि दैट नो, इकोनॉमी इज नॉट डूइंग बैड, इकोनॉमी इज डूइंग गुड, सब चीजें ठीक चल रही है, हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ रहा है, जीडीपी बढ़ रही है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट हो रहा है. देन मिस्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी सेड दैट बिल्कुल सही है, ये भी सही है. फिर उसके बाद में एक और आदमी आता है, बोला सर ये क्या हुआ? जब उन्होंने बोला इकोनॉमी खराब कर रही है, आपने बोल दिया कि बिल्कुल सही है. उन्होंने बोल दिया इकोनॉमी अच्छी चल रही है, तब भी आपने बोल दिया बिल्कुल सही है. ये क्या हुआ? मनमोहन सिंह जी बोलते बोला बात तो ये भी सही है. ठीक है, सो the thing is that we need to have a diplomacy. हम नहीं बोल सकते कि that नहीं, sophists they are the 100% correct, the Socrates they are the 100% correct, we are the land of Buddha, we always take the middle path. We'll say कि that दोनों सही हैं. How? See, when we talk about ethics, ethics have an element of virtues. Ethics में virtues included होते हैं. So when we talk about the virtues, yes, they will be true in all the times, they will be true in all the societies. Truth, it is a virtue. It will be true to all societies. It will true in all the times. It will true in Pakistan, it will true in India. Truth was acceptable 100 years back, it is acceptable today, it will be acceptable 500 years later. So when we talk about the virtues are something in the ethics which are universal, they will not change. But another dimensions of the ethics, they will change. Are you getting it or not? Ethics में दोनों पार्ट हैं. Are you getting it or not? Your GS paper number 2 syllabus, it has certain components which are static, which will not change. You're getting it or not? But in your GS paper number 2, there is one element which is dynamic, it will change. You're getting it or not? So in the same way, जब हम ethics की बात करते हैं तो ethics deals with virtues and these virtues will not change, so ethics becomes universal. Within the ethics, there are other dimensions of ethics that will change from time to time. Are you getting it or not? Three factors are there which will make ethics relative. Sthan, Kal, Patra. Sthan means place. Kal means time. And Patra means moral agent, the person who is performing an action. As the place will change, the ethics, what is ethical, what is unethical, it will change. When time will change, what is ethical, what is unethical, it will change. मैं आपको example दूंगा, don't worry. Patra, moral agent, the one who is doing an action. When that particular agent, when that particular person, when that actor will change, what is ethical, what is unethical, it will change. Are you getting it or not? ठीक है. अब ये वाला जो डिबेट है ना, whether ethics are universal, whether ethics are universal, whether ethics are relative, many great people are divided on this particular debate. Have you heard the name of Albert Einstein? Albert Einstein का नाम सुना होगा. Albert Einstein का एक बहुत पॉपुलर कोट है. He says that the relativity applies to physics and not to ethics. Relativity applies to physics and not to ethics. आइंस्टीन किसको फेवर करते थे? Ethical absolutism को. You're getting it or not? We are not great such as Einstein. हम लोग एक पोजीशन नहीं ले सकते, हमको तो दोनों ही लेना पड़ेगा. Are you getting? We'll say that the ethics are both. Ethics are universal because the virtues, they don't change. Ethics are relative. Other dimensions of ethics will change. Ethics will be changed based on the place, based on the time, based on the age. ठीक है? We are going to discuss all of them one by one. Is this thing clear or not? Is this thing clear? Now, let's discuss the first element. Time. Time. See, example of, चलो एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. See, let's take one example. We are going to take the example of the Hindu Succession Act of 1956. Okay, multiple examples I'm going to take. One example we'll be taking here is that the Hindu Succession Act of 1956. Now, what happened here? Basically, when we talk about the India, okay, during this particular time, fine, the notion was there that the women should not be given the share in the ancestral property. You're getting it or not? If a woman has been married, she should not have any interest in the ancestral property that has been left behind. You remember the Mitakshara school and the Dayabag school? Mitakshara school and Dayabag school of thought. Have you heard about it? सुना है? किसने सुना है Mitakshara school and Dayabag school? Can anybody tell me Mitakshara school and Dayabag school? थोड़ा बहुत भी अगर पता है तो can anybody tell me? Yes. देखो, Mitakshara school of thought was this, that in the ancestral property, the son, they have the right the moment they are born. In the ancestral property, the son, they have the right the moment they are born. Are you getting it or not? Dayabag school of thought, it says that neither the son nor the daughter has the right into the property, but the father can decide if he wants to give the right into the property. Are you getting it or not? Dayabag, Mitakshara school prefers that the sons have the right in the property the moment they are born, and it doesn't talks about any right onto the property, the rights of the women. It doesn't talks about the rights of the daughter. Mitakshara school majorly doesn't talks about. Are you getting it or not? 1956, one particular act was passed. The name of the act was the Hindu Succession Act 1956. In this particular act, when the ancestral property is concerned, the sons, they were given the right, but no rights of the daughters were talked at that point of time. Why? Because at that point of a time it was considered as unethical if the woman is asking the right into the ancestral property because she has been married. Because she has been married. Are you getting it or not? ये वाला law pass हुआ. As the time changed, realization came that actually we have discriminated against the daughters. We have discriminated against the daughters because they have not been given a right into the ancestral property by the virtue of the Hindu Succession Act. Are you getting it or not? What happened? 2005, the amendment was made into the Hindu Succession Act, and it was provided that the daughters are also entitled for the right into the ancestral property. It was unethical that was done earlier. Now we are doing what is actually ethical. Clear? थोड़ा सा और आगे चलते हैं. 2020. Now what happened? During this particular time, a kind of a debate emerged that will this particular thing be applicable retrospectively or not? What if the father died before 2005? Are you getting it or not? What will happen in the matters where, let's say, the father has been died before 2005? In those cases also, can the daughter claim the property or not? So retrospective application के ऊपर में there was a issue and the conflictive judgments were there by the different high courts. You're getting it or not? What happened in 2020? There was a landmark judgment that is come, that is the Vinita Sharma versus Rakesh Sharma judgment. Now where I am going by this, एक मिनट में समझ में आएगा, अभी पहले डेवलपमेंट समझ लो. विनीता शर्मा वर्सेस राकेश शर्मा जजमेंट, and a very beautiful line was used by the Supreme Court here. Supreme Court said that once a daughter, always a daughter. Once a daughter, always a daughter. It was a historical mistake. That historical mistake, and it was an unethical thing that the daughters were not given the right into the ancestral property in 1956. Are you getting? Supreme Court settled that it doesn't matter when the father died. Daughter will have the share in the ancestral property, and to deny their share, it will be grossly unethical. It will grossly unethical. उन्होंने ethics से जोड़ दिया डायरेक्टली इस चीज को. अब समझो. In 1956, the times were different. Yes or no? In 1956, the times were different. When the daughters were not being given the right into the ancestral property, it did not become the matter of ethics at that point of a time because society was different. During the present time, the women, they deserve equality. And today, if the women are not being given equality in terms of ancestral property, it is unethical. Are you getting it or not? तो change हो गया या नहीं हो गया? हो गया या नहीं हो गया? Let's take one more example. Example of slavery. Yes. Just a minute. हाँ जी. क्या है? बाय द वे दिस इज द मिताक्षर और दयावाग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है हम लोगों के एथिक्स के लिए. सोसाइटी के अंदर में यू माइट हैव रेड अबाउट दैट. ठीक है, एथिक्स में कोई लेना देना नहीं है इनका, इसलिए आई एम नॉट गोइंग इन डिटेल इन दिस मिताक्षर एंड दयावाग. जस्ट पासिंग रेफरेंस आई गिव बिकॉज एथिक्स से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. इन सोसाइटी इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड रीड व्हाइल यू आर रीडिंग द सोसाइटी. चलो कमिंग बैक. क्लियर? नाउ slavery. In the 18th and the early 19th century, slavery was something which was actually acceptable in many of the countries, particularly in Americas. ठीक है, अब जब स्लेवरी की बात आती है तो क्या है कि that there was a Mudsill theory. Mudsill theory associated with slavery. What was this Mudsell theory? Mudsell theory provided at that point of a time that actually the slaves are the foundation of a society. Slaves are the foundation of a society. Clear? Mudsell theory. Then Stephen Miller. ठीक है, these names are not that much important, तो बहुत ज्यादा इसके लिए फिक्सेट बड़ा प्रेशर लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. Stephen Miller, he said that the slaves are the national treasure. Slaves are the national treasure. Stephen D. Miller. Stephen D. Miller, he said that the slaves are the national treasure. Are you getting it or not? He was a congressman. He was a congressman in US. तो यूएस का लेजिस्लेटर क्या बोल रहा है? स्टीफन डी मिलर. Okay. He said that the slaves are the national treasure. Mudsell theory, which says that the slaves are the foundations of society. The institution of slavery, it was called the institution of slavery, that it is the most just institution that ever existed in history. The institution of slavery was said that it is the most just institution that existed into the history. Slavery was being justified into the 18th and 19th century. You're getting it or not? But today, is slavery acceptable? Acceptable की तो बात छोड़ दो. Today the slavery lawful तो obviously नहीं है. Is it ethical to keep a slave? You're getting it or not? Even in fundamental rights, there is a right. Fundamental rights के अंदर में we have the rights against exploitation. Fine, there the slavery, bonded laborers, all these things, मतलब उनके against में fundamental right दिया हुआ या नहीं दिया हुआ. But अब ये बताओ कि that in 18th and 19th century, was slavery ethical at that point of a time? It was justified as being ethical. But today's slavery ethically justified? No. So ethical standards, did it got changed as the time got changed? Yes or no? Did it got changed as the time got changed? Change हुआ या नहीं हुआ? एक और एग्जांपल देता हूं, हॉट एग्जांपल, ठीक है. Now these examples are the things that I am talking that you need to put in your answers if you need to show the dimensions. एक और एग्जांपल लेते हैं. Let's take the example of section 377 of IPC. Section 377. Okay. पता है section 377 क्या है? What is section 377? Section 377 criminalizes the homosexuality. It criminalizes the homosexuality. देखो, Section 377 was added in 1860s. Okay, at that point of a time, Britishers were ruling in India, and Britishers, they were driven by Victorian ethics. Britishers, they were driven by Victorian ethics. In this Victorian ethics, homosexuality was equated with a sin. Homosexuality क्या था? Sin, पाप. Are you getting it or not? Homosexuality was against nature. Homosexuality was against nature. It was sin. It was not acceptable. Britishers therefore added the section 377 in the IPC, and homosexuality was criminalized. Homosexuality was unethical, और इतना unethical कि उसको illegal भी बना दिया. समझ में आ रहा है? Homosexuality was unethical, so much unethical that it was made as illegal as well in 1860. ये हुआ या नहीं हुआ? Now, as the time passed, 1860. This is 1860. Time चलता रहा. ठीक है? What happened? Delhi High Court का judgment and multiple judgments came. Finally the matter, अब उन बीच में नहीं जाऊंगा because वो हमारे लिए important नहीं है. Polity में important, ethics में. Ultimately what happened? 2017. नवतेज सिंह जौहर जजमेंट. नवतेज सिंह जौहर जजमेंट. In the Navtej Singh Johar judgment, what happened? Section 377 was decriminalized by Supreme Court. Supreme Court said this particular thing: homosexuality is the matter of individual preference. Homosexuality is the matter of individual preference. Supreme Court used the word that it will be unethical. It will be unethical to impose a particular sexual preference on a person. Suppose a person is homosexual. आप उसको बोलो कि that नहीं, homosexual नहीं, you have to be heterosexual. This is unethical that you are going to do. Supreme Court, on the charge of constitutional, onto the pretext of constitutional ethicality, onto the pretext of respecting the fundamental rights of the citizens, said that the section 377 cannot stay. Section 377 was decriminalized. Are you getting it or not? Today, if you say that the homosexuality is unethical, you are unethical. You're getting it or not? Fast forward from 2017 to 2020. Now the petition has been filed in the Delhi High Court, where it is being said that even the homosexual marriages should be recognized under the provision of the Special Marriage Act. Under the provision of the Special Marriage Act, even the homosexual marriages should be recognized. You're getting? तो समझो क्या हुआ? Homosexuality unethical in 1860s, true or false? Unethical in 1860s, homosexuality was unethical in 1860s, true or false? False कैसे? True हुआ ना? 1860 में तो homosexuality unethical था ना? Clear? Today, is homosexuality unethical? No, Supreme Court ने ही approval दे दिया ना नवतेज सिंह जोहर judgment में. Today even we are talking about the homosexual marriages, and even a petition has been filed in Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court asked the response of the center government that what you have to say. Center government ने बोला कि that नहीं allow कर सकते अभी. Again backlash from the people came. People now they are saying that who you are to say that what type of a person I should marry. Are you getting it or not? और Supreme Court ने तो नवतोष सिंह जोहर judgment में एक बात और बोली. Supreme Court said that any act of discrimination against the LGBT community will be unconstitutional. Are you getting it or not? You have to give them all rights. They have to be treated equal. If you are treating them unequally, that is unethical. Homosexuality is acceptable. It is not unethical today. So as the time got changed, what is ethical and what is unethical, they got changed or not? What is ethical, what is unethical, it got changed or not? Got changed? We have seen three examples. The example of the example of Hindu Succession Act, that in 1956, not giving ancestral property to the women was not regarded as unethical, but today it is regarded as unethical. Slavery, Sati Pratha. One more example you can take. Sati Pratha. Sati Pratha today is highly unethical, illegal as well as unethical both. So जैसे जैसे टाइम चेंज हो रहा है, एथिक्स चेंज हो रहे हैं या नहीं हो रहे हैं? ठीक है, हाँ जी, हाँ सोलोगैमी. हाँ देखो, मेरा व्यू है कि दैट इट इज इंडिविजुअल चॉइस. किसी को जो भी करना है करने दो. एट द एंड ऑफ दैट इट इज अ वे ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन. वही बात है, लॉ नहीं है. अब देखो, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि जो मेरा व्यू है वो सही व्यू है और आपको यही व्यू मानना चाहिए. बोथ views are. One view says that it is just a publicity stunt. Sologamy is nothing but just to be a bachelor. तो बोला ये क्या नया काम है? हाँ, वो अब दूसरा व्यू पॉइंट आता है यहाँ पे. the girl that has done that particular thing, she says that the sologamy is nothing but just a commitment to yourself. The commitment to yourself, the commitment that I will love my own self, ये है. मेरा थोड़ा सा लिबरल व्यू आता है. मेरा व्यू ये है कि दैट मतलब it is a way of expression of that particular woman. Let her express in that particular way. It is her independent liberty. It is her independent freedom. Even if it is a publicity stunt, it is her choice. नहीं, लॉ नहीं है उस रिगार्ड में कोई. आप कुछ नहीं तो डिवोर्स तो तब होगा ना जब मैरिज रजिस्टर होगी। जब रजिस्टर ही नहीं हुई तो डिवोर्स की बात कहां से आ गई? मैरिज का रजिस्ट्रेशन होना है, होगा। एक पूछते हैं ना, बोला डिवोर्स का सबसे बड़ा कारण क्या है? डिवोर्स का सबसे बड़ा कारण बताओ क्या पहले तो? पीसफुल वीसफुल नेचर नहीं है, डिवोर्स का रीजन है मैरिज। मैरिज ही नहीं होगी तो डिवोर्स नहीं होगा। सोलो गैम ही आपने कर तो लिया आगे, चलो ठीक है, आई एम गेटिंग मैरिड, बट वो मैरिज रजिस्टर थोड़ी हो सकती है कहीं पे, क्योंकि रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए कोई लॉ नहीं है। जब मैरिज रजिस्टर नहीं हो सकती तो फिर डिवोर्स नहीं हो सकता। तो हाँ, वो जो भी है, लेट इट हैपन, व्हाई यू आर फिक्सेटिंग ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग? दिस इज माय व्यू पॉइंट। आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट दिस इज 100% कि ऐसा ही होना चाहिए और सबको ऐसा मानना चाहिए। क्लियर? योर व्यू कुड बी डिफरेंट बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू ऑल्सो हैव अ फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच एंड एक्सप्रेशन। वोल्टेयर, आप में से डिसएग्री करो, बट वोल्टेयर द फ्रेंच फिलोसोफर सेड, वोल्टेयर सेड दैट आई may not agree with what you say but I will defend your right to say so until your last breath. आर यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? तो एग्री करो नहीं करो, सबका इंडिपेंडेंट व्यू पॉइंट है। चलो एनीवेज, वो बड़ा एक नेसेंट मैटर है और एक चीज है, विल नॉट गो इनटू दैट। समझ में आया ये सब चीजें? आर यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? सो दैट विल बी कीपिंग अप टिल दिस क्लास। नेक्स्ट क्लास में थोड़ा सा ग्रेजुअली वी विल बी taking that particular thing. एक मिनट, just in 30 seconds, let's recap all the things that we have seen so that it gets cemented. So let's do a quick revision. Number one, we have seen that we have started with the topic number one, ethics and human interface. Number one, we have seen that what do we mean by ethics. In that we have seen these 7 dimensions of ethics. Just jaldi se ek baar inko dekh lo. Is everything clear? Is everything clear? Then the next thing we have seen that why to be ethical at all, and we have seen that when the subjective assessments are there, we have to make an active choice. Are you getting? Whatever choice you want, you are free to make a particular, कोई choice बना सकते हो, but every of your choice will have the long term consequences. If choices are ethical, at the end of the day survival of society will be there, sustainability of the civilization will be there. We have seen then what is the nature of ethics. Are ethics universal or ethics spatio-temporally inconsistent, means they are relative. We have seen the Socrates have given the theory of ethical absolutism, पढ़ लिया था हमने ये. We have seen the theory of Michael Humer, ethical intuitionism. We have seen then the ethical relativism given by the sophist. Is it clear or not? Then we have seen homo mensura. Then we have seen that what it will be the middle path. Ethics are actually both universal as well as relative. Universal because when we talk about virtues, they are universal, but there are other details, other dimensions of ethics that will change from time to time. 3 factors are there which will be influencing the ethics: sthan, kal, patra, place, time and agent. We have seen one time. In the next class I will be giving you a brief dictation, little bit on ethical relativism and ethical intuitionism and all that. Uske baad mein we will be seeing the other factors, that how the place will influence, how the moral agent will influence, and then uske baad wale topics. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Are you getting it or not? The reason is that the one thing I'll again repeat, and I had repeated it multiple times इससे पहले भी, make your basics and your foundations very very strong. अगर ये एक बार बेसिक्स और फाउंडेशंस बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बन गए, उसके बाद में एनी क्वेश्चन, एनी टाइप ऑफ थिंग दैट विल कम, इट विल बी अ काइंड ऑफ अ केक वॉक, बिकॉज यहीं से चीजों का ओरिजिनेशन होगा. आर यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? जितनी डायमेंशंस एक चीज के अंदर में हम देख सकते हैं, द बेटर. यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द एग्जामिनेशन इज नॉट अबाउट having a lot of depth, but it is about having a lot of width. Clear? चलिए. So guys, the next class tomorrow will be meeting, and then इसके बाद वाले topics we are going to have. Everybody got the handout? Everybody got the handout? ठीक है. In case किसी को अगर नहीं मिला तो please collect it. Okay, thank you. कोई डाउट नहीं है? कोई डाउट है तो